Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out some more of Tower of God anime, and we've just finished the Crown game with Bomb being knocked out cold and injured and in the hospital. We of course have to deal with all the Rachel that is going to happen. We have Endorsi finally entering the chat officially, and we of course had the cryptic conversation between Lororo and Hansang, which is going to come back later on in the season. I'm having a really good time going through all this because there are some things that I'm like, oh yeah, that happened, or just looking at it through the lens of somebody who has read further in the webtoon, now looking back on the story. So I'm excited as we're going to be getting into learning some of the other characters that are in the story and getting into some of the classes and stuff. So we're going to be doing a little more slice of life-ish things than the more intense tests, battle, secrets things. So let's just get into the episode. In 3, 2, 1, go. This, like, the sirens still trip me up. Literally every time. There's a part of my brain being like, oh, there's like a siren outside. No, it's just Stray Kids. I just realized I don't know who does the opener for season 2. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I don't think I heard. Because it's like different studio. There's different stuff happening now. So I'm not entirely sure all the details of who's doing season 2 stuff. Stars. Yeah, and you left anyway. Yes, thank you for saying you abandoned him. Thank you for using that particular word. Yes, to the point. Kun is on a schedule. But would probably have been for the best, honestly. See, I don't know how much to take from that. Like, I know that she is Bomb's weakness, but how much is he hers? Ominous music transition there. Yes? Was he trying to, like, see what's happening, but, like, not seem too concerned? Yeah, no, not at all. Doesn't even care. That sweet smile, though, from Kun. Like, mm-hmm. Oh, my sweet boy. I mean, do you see that jumpsuit? The fashion? Oh, we're gonna backstory. Oh, I can't wait till we get to that. The like flashback episode. Come on. Ooh, I love that Dutch angle there too. The way he is aggressively looking for chocolate bars. Yeah, don't let him near her. Even though I know it's gonna happen, but it would have been good to keep them as far away from each other at all times. Aww. I think this is them like properly becoming friends, you know? Like they were like watching over him the whole time. Mm, I hate that he's lying though. I know why he's doing it, but like, don't do anything for Rachel. That's my position all the time. I'm a little bit sad seeing some of the characters in this part of the season. Ugh. All the eyes is a little intense. I like that the artwork is like, it looks like carvings though. It's really interesting. Like it shows that this is something that's been going on for like a really long time. Convenient. That at least they have some, yeah, they have some time, a delay. Oh, I hate the straight up lie. It hurts me. Just tell each other the truth and be friends. And don't do anything just because Rachel asks you to. The bloody bandages is intense. Like, that was a head injury. No, you can't. I refuse. See, I don't know what to do with a lot of these scenes with Rachel early on because I know stuff. And obviously, when I was going through it like the first time, I had a bit of a different perspective on her than I do now. I don't know, we haven't spent, at least where I'm at in the series, we haven't spent that much time with her um, in season 2 of the webtoon. I have to specify now because there's anime. This isn't about to rock, but I like the enthusiasm. Oh, you. All right, it's just like, huh? What happened? I was taking a nap. I forgot about this intense scene that's what happened. I'm like, oh, I remember now. But I had blocked it from my memory. For, I think, fairly obvious reasons. Hmm. Yep. Don't they do this for every floor? I don't think I've seen them ever do this again. Which maybe just for like pacing reasons. Probably at some point it'll become important enough that we see like who they're making a contract with. Mm. Oh, my heart hurts a little bit. Oh, I don't like that though. The like give a helping hand to the weak. Even though I know some of what's about to happen, but like clock that, Lorray. Could seem that like the change in the lighting. Them's fighting words. He's dramatic. Oh. Are we getting into the friendship list? Because sweet. Such a powerful like image though. Like the light and dark, the isolation versus building relationships, the comparison there. I will admit, for all my personal feelings about Rachel, she is interesting from a character standpoint. What's stubble? Alright, I have to throw my boy under the bus, but like look at Shibisu's sweet smile. What a dork. I love him. True. I forgot about that too, that they were like, oh, we're not a team anymore, because I just think of them as a team even later. He's so self-conscious. Aw. Yet you're supposed to be making friends. Oh, his little face. He might actually, so like, tread with caution. Do we not know this? Uh, sort of. It's complicated. Mm-hmm. Clock it. Also interesting that she had an apple. All of the apple imagery, biblically speaking. Oh, here we go. I don't know how far we're gonna get into this because the runtime's running out, but like this fight though, I want to see this animated so bad. Yo, here we go. The way the music picked up and everything. It is basically a computer class. Yay! You didn't hear his victory cry? I feel like everyone could have heard it. Yes, be suspicious of the lack of information. Oh, by nameless character. He probably did have a name, but I just like didn't don't remember it, didn't clock it. Sorry, dude. Sorry to him too. I remember getting to that and being like, I'm sorry. The way she jumped backwards from platform to platform. I mean, Dorsey ain't no joke. Oh, there goes another one. It's cool how they animated that. Especially with the water, considering how much like aquatic imagery there is with the tower. Ugh, remember that? The brutality of that, man. Oh, the way that it cut to like her mom and then like the sound like pulled back. Was she happy though? Oh gosh, like the whiplash between the two things. Woof. Scary girl. So there was quite a bit of exposition in that I can gloss over because I have read the webtoon that had to go into the way that we're splitting up the classes, the way that people are being selected for different positions and what that means, and the different tests to analyze that to really show off not only like all of these different characters that we're being introduced to, right? Because there's a huge cast in this series and we're like constantly bringing in new people, but also to give a brief overview of like, what does it mean to be like a spear bearer, right? What kind of skills are associated with that particular position, etc. for all of them. And then getting into some of the more character stuff, and I knew that we were going to be getting into Anak and like her whole backstory, and I hope that we get a little bit more in the flashback, because I know that we did with the webtoon, but I don't know how much they're going to incorporate into the story. Like that might be the extent of what we get from her, or next episode we might be getting more into the flashbacks that we have of what happened. I don't know. I remember crying though when I read the webtoon, because I feel like we went through it a little bit more. Maybe that's just because I was pacing myself and going through the story a little bit more on my own as opposed to this. But I love the use of the silences and these very jarring juxtapositions between different scenes of Anak talking in the present and then flashing back to happier memories, but then also with like a fire happening, and like when it flashed to like her mom's face smiling and like the sound like pulled back, so jarring, and yet like it like emphasizes that moment, like you're supposed to have it stand out to you and remember it. Also throughout this whole episode, I just felt like the sound design was really good in terms of like how they were using the music and like queuing up at different times, the way that they were using different kinds of music. I've loved the music throughout going through this anyway, but the way that they incorporated in this episode, it really stood out to me of the way that they were like using the music to change the tone of the different parts. A character would say a line with Kun because he's lying, he'd say a line that is clearly him lying, and the music shifts, and we can clock that because we know what's going on, and as the audience, it emphasizes that there's something off kilter about that. It's this shifting and even moments of quiet, and then the music will suddenly ramp up because we're getting into this conflict between these characters, seemingly out of nowhere. Anak being like, beelined, being like, I'm attacking Dorsey, I'm going to go after her. Just really great use of that. I also feel like going through this, because I have a different perspective on Rachel, because I've seen how this season ends in the webtoon, going through these scenes, I might feel a little bit differently. I don't entirely remember how I felt about her early on. I feel like I was always like suspicious. Like I always felt like I was, because I feel like she's written that way. You're supposed to feel like a little bit off with her. But going through this, it's difficult in trying to look at it without my like personal bias of how much of this is like genuine emotion when we're seeing her in these moments alone, and like how much of it is towards what I think it is, right? Like, is she actually feeling this way about Bam, her saying we are each other's weakest point or each other's weaknesses? Are they though? Like how much? And what does she mean by that? I know that Bam, his weakness is Rachel because he has such an emotional attachment to her. He tends to do things a little bit recklessly, impulsively when it's in regards to her, and if people threaten her, that is a way to manipulate him. But is it the same way for Rachel? Because I know that there's more of like an intertwining between them in terms of like how they function in the tower of those two, right? She is reliant on him in some ways because of those ties that she has with other powerful people in the tower. How much of that is like because she has some kind of like actual emotional attachment, and how much of that is because of these other ties? Rachel is sometimes considered important directly in relation to the fact that she is with Bam, right? And I still have questions about like why she was with Bam to begin with, because I haven't caught up with the webtoon yet, but like why she was the person that ended up finding Bam or being with Bam, because I know a little bit more about like why he was where he was, and like who I'm trying to say too much out because I don't want to spoil a bunch of stuff for people who are reading the webtoon and might be watching this. I know I've already given a warning that I might be getting into stuff that's spoiler territory, but I just want to be as vague as I possibly can just in case, because I would hate to do that to somebody who just wants to watch the anime and enjoy it. And I know that season 2 is coming in, so some of the stuff I'm talking about, I'm like, that's gonna come out in season 2 and I don't want to give away stuff. But yeah, so I don't know how much to take from Rachel in these moments of like her being isolated, but I think that the image, I remember that from reading the webtoon of the like half and half of her being in shadow and alone and Bam being in light and surrounded by all of these people. It's just like a really interesting image, and I think it tells you a lot about like how Rachel views herself and how she views Bam, and like why there is this like conflict or tension between them in the way that she is intertwined with Bam's existence and like he's intertwined with hers. Like there's this weird like, again, intertwined between them, but also this repellent between them that's just like, interesting. They have such a complex relationship. And like I said, for all of my personal feelings about Rachel as someone who is a fan of the series, I do admit that she's a very interesting character from a character standpoint within the series. We're ramping up into a lot of the fun things that are coming in to the season. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this place to go to my priest reaction, or you can subscribe to me next time I post a Tower of God video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.